go. Good morning and welcome to Daybreak Plus.
Nice view. I like the
that?
change.
You can see Matt for just a second until you can't.
Did you get my good side?
Happy Thanksgiving Eve.
Yeah, welcome to Daybreak Plus. We'll bring you in, Matt, officially. Because winter's coming in hot.
Man,
Yeah, it is.
what a day and what a couple
Oh,
of
my
days in
goodness.
store.
Yeah, so talk for a second, Matt, because I want to pull
All right.
up the router
Yes.
to show something.
A lot of times we just gradually descend into winter, but no, it's boom.
Right in.
Yeah, Mother Nature's like, we're going to flip the switch and we're going to stay in winter mode for quite some time.
Yeah, so what we have here, what the heck is that? That's not what we have here,
That is an interesting weather report.
isn't
What?
it? Okay, this is what we have here. Forgive me.
Already plowing up
Multitasking.
in Houghton.
That's Houghton, that's Michigan Tech University.
There's a lot
All
of
morning
snow.
we've been checking in on this camera, and progressively you see less and less of the ground.
Yeah, blizzard warnings up there.
So 30 inches of snow, up to, they could get by tomorrow morning.
I would say, I don't know about tomorrow
think
morning,
that's-
probably by later tomorrow, early
Okay.
Friday, but regardless.
Yes.
I was
So-
texting my buddies, my snowmobile friends, and we always take a big trip once a year in the UP, about a week long, and it's kind of the epicenter where all the snow is. And I said they could legit get close to 30 inches of snow up there. So we're all excited about that.
That's crazy, huh?
That's a lot of snow.
Wow.
So I won't complain about whatever we get here because that is
No.
a lot of snow.
And we will get some here.
It does
Yeah.
kind of put
Yeah.
it into perspective.
It does. I mean, the UP can really get walloped, and they're going to get walloped. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to get a little semi-wallop, if you will.
We can look at each other when we're on this camera. Hi.
It's unnatural. Usually
know.
we're
Pretending that
I don't
we're
know.
looking at
I'm
each
so
other.
used to looking at.
I know.
just look straight
I have to
ahead.
adjust to it. There you go.
Do you want to go back to the other way?
I
We
don't care. It
can.
doesn't matter to me.
Well, we do want to show what's happening here today because
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys are tracking this. It just seems tricky.
It is. It's multifaceted. We have wind, strong wind, along with the snow, and that's going to present the challenges, especially this evening. As the wind ramps up, so is the snow at the same time. So that's going to make traveling difficult. Let's take a look at here's a broad view of what's going on with basically the Great Lakes taking center stage. It's the epicenter of the worst of the weather across the country, I would say.
It's interesting that it's like warning, watch, warning.
Yeah,
and
and the
these
reason why
splotches.
is the lake effect component.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That typically isn't the case. You have a split like that when you have just a full winter storm, like we're going to see probably on Saturday. We'll likely have advisories for that, and they'll be more uniform. But lake effect is always fickle. You can, just does what it does. Area of low pressure, that's the system that's going to plunge us into winter. Notice how that snow is making a beeline to West Michigan, and with Lake Michigan out ahead of it, or west of us, we're going to add in, that's going to add even more moisture to the system for us. Look at all that cold upstream. That's a big chunk of cold that's heading right here, and how it gets here, strong wind. Taking a look at current temperatures and wind chills, we're starting out right in the mid-30s. When I first arrived at work, it was still in the 40s this morning.
Yes.
Yeah, when we leave, it's going to feel a lot different. And
I hate it when that happens. It's not supposed to be like that.
I was watching Cameron James doing his live shots this morning. I'm thinking, boy, I feel sorry for whoever's got to do it later on today. It's not going to be very pleasant because by later today, look at those wind chills slipping into the teens, I would say sometime right around or shortly after sunset. And those temperatures also plunging to right around the freezing mark. Wind advisory out there. Wouldn't be surprised to see a couple wind gusts being reported up around 60 miles an hour, especially howling northward. Some 50-plus mile an hour wind. Inland areas, that's not good. Unfortunately, the leaves are off most of the trees, but I wouldn't be surprised if a power outage or 2 or 3 or 4. And you can see how those wind gusts really start picking up, especially later on this afternoon. That's impressive. That's a sign of a pretty good storm system. So paused it right at noon. Notice that most of us have at that point transitioned to snow. Temperatures are going to be around the freezing mark. So I think roads are going to be, for the most part, okay until about 4 o'clock this afternoon, where we may start to see some accumulation. And certainly, once we go dark mode after sunset, that's when things will get really dicey around here, much easier for the snow to accumulate on the roads. A little bit of good news is with temperatures likely hovering around 30 degrees through the evening hours, the salting agents, the melting agents will still work pretty good. So I know the road crews are really going to tackle this. But still, it's going to be a challenge, especially north-south roads, US 131, 31, M37, M66 in particular, with a cross drifting and snow going, horizontal in front of your windshield. That will be the most challenging roads. And notice how we head into Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, how you get, Teresa, this is kind of it right here. You see the split a little bit further south and north of Grand Rapids, more dominant lake effect bands. That's kind of lining up with where we're expecting most of the accumulating snow. And that's where the warnings are.
That's why it went warning.
Yeah, advisory. Yep, warning. So in terms of traveling, it's this evening, taking center stage. And then things get a little bit better tomorrow. But still, anywhere, I'd say UP, Western Great Lakes, right on through Friday morning is not going to be a treat. But the bullseye for us, the time frame, again, is during the evening hours and tonight. How much snow? Where there's your split. Up around Fremont, Newaygo, over towards Rothbury, Ravenna.
Kalamazoo's going to.
Kalamazoo also. Yep. Allegan, right down to Otsego, Paw Paw, the Gobles area. Yeah, that's a center of 5 to 8 inches. That's by Friday morning. 3 to 5 where the darker blues are, and not quite as much once you get east of Grand Rapids, Ionia. So, and notice how it's kind of displaced away from the lakeshore.
Yeah.
That sometimes happens with a strong wind. You get that wind just racing off Lake Michigan. It runs into the land, and we call this frictional convergence, and the air piles up. It doesn't have anywhere to go. It can't go down, so it has to go up. So you get that additional rising motion just inland from the shore, and it helps enhance some of the snow. There's your warnings till 7 o'clock on Thanksgiving Day, Thursday. And if that wasn't enough,
we got some more.
Here comes another system.
The
and
hits keep coming.
Yeah. And this one, I would say conservatively, will likely bring in snow during the day on Saturday, right in through Sunday, about 3 to 6 inches additional snow. So whatever falls from this first system will add another 3 to 6 inches at least. And then that's going to transition to lake effect. So we'll certainly have advisories for that one. Also, obviously, that's not happening yet. So just bear that in mind if you have weekend plans. A lot of us come home, on the weekend from visiting family. So no rest for the weary. And once that snow falls, and it's sticking around, there isn't a single temperature, above freezing in this 8-day forecast. And even going beyond that, it looks like a cold pattern. Yeah, tease. That's not what I wanted to show you. Anyway, I want to show the 8 to 14 day outlook. It has cold temperatures. No, it has cold temperatures right on through the second week of December. So yeah, there's our flip to winter.
So
It's
the winter
wild.
it's here. There's no going back.
There's not for. I don't see it.
And we're not easing into it either. We're going from we were out playing with the kids outside to the high is not yet not quite freezing.
Yeah. So if you haven't raked up your leaves yet, don't even bother.
My goodness.
You're not gonna have a. You're gonna be shoveling, not raking.
All right.
So you ready?
I am kind of ready. I don't know.
Well, we don't have a choice.
Yeah.
You got to get mentally
That's
ready
right.
right now.
I'm worried about family and everybody traveling.
Traveling is an issue,
Yeah. That's always a concern.
Because today, and even tomorrow early, people sometimes get on the road Thanksgiving morning.
My dad's supposed to be leaving from Detroit at 6 o'clock tonight. I'm like, Dad, that's
Yeah,
not
and you
good.
can never talk sense in
No.
your dad.
No.
It's absolutely the worst time.
Yeah,
I
It's
know.
going to get, and those lake effect bands will go all the way to Detroit. That's how strong the wind is. So I would like, a lot of times you can say, the closer you are to Detroit, that's not
But
as bad.
tomorrow, if you were driving to Detroit, you would have
It'd get a little better.
improvement as you got there. But he's
Yeah, right.
going the opposite.
Right.
And he's leaving tonight at 6. I don't know.
What's your return?
What?
Is he going to return on Friday or?
To Detroit?
Yeah.
No, he'll be here for the weekend.
Okay, good.
So
All right.
Sunday, he'll go back to Detroit.
Well, he's going to drive back in a winter wonderland.
Yay. He likes the snow, but
Good.
I just...
That's a good
You
thing.
don't want him on the roads in this.
well,
There's plenty of it. He's just like George. He just loves snow.
No, he does. He
I've made my
loves-
peace with
Matt, my dad is the kind where he hates it when meteorologists are, which you would love this. You and he would, you guys would have this in common. Like, he doesn't like it when people are like, "Oh, it's gonna snow." He's like, "No, it's gonna snow."
I like your dad.
This is exciting.
Yes.
So he loves your forecast.
Good.
Because you're
Good.
always very excited about the snow.
Good.
All right. Well, here we go.
Game on.
Move on. Thanks, Matt.
Sure.
And we do have the rundown, and we're gonna check in outside.
We're going to find out what's happening on the roads and the conditions outside in just a moment.
Welcome back to Daybreak Plus. We have the rundown to get to right now, and it starts with manslaughter charges for a woman who police say is responsible for her 11-year-old adopted daughter's death.
That's right. Prosecutors say Sherry Leak actually sat on her 11-year-old adoptive daughter until she stopped breathing. She tried to do CPR. She called 911, but the child died. The prosecutor said there could be other charges as well, including child abuse in this case.
Now, we heard from Maya's a biological mom who gave her and her twin sister up for adoption when she was 17. Since then, she says she has tried many times to get the girls back. This is what she told Ken Coker outside the courtroom yesterday.
I never stopped trying, I never stopped trying. I did everything they asked me to do. I back and forth up here asking them, can I get my kids back? I got my house, I got my car, I got my job. He keeps telling me no possibility for me to get my kids. You know how hard that is. Every day.
So Leaks could face more charges. They said that considering, the prosecutor said he's considering adding child abuse charges onto the list. So that's something that will play out next month. There's supposed to be a court date.
Another court appearance.
And that would determine if this is going to go to a trial.
Right.
Okay, we also are following news in Portage where a train, this is actually a situation where a man is going to go to jail for 8 days because he was involved in a road rage incident.
He admitted to approaching a woman with a chainsaw after he ran her off the road. Couldn't actually get the chainsaw started, but Leonard Yonkman will spend 8 days in jail for this crash that happened last month.
Yeah, she said that he was running her off the road and it was a whole thing. There's also probation. He's got 6 months of probation, I believe, that he'll have to serve in addition to the 8 days in jail. This is the train crash. A train in Portage hit a tractor trailer, just the trailer though. The driver and the cab are fine.
Yeah, that's very fortunate. This was on the tracks along Shaver Road, and no one got hurt, which is remarkable. And as you mentioned, the driver is okay. The train and the cars had some minor damage.
When the stuff like that happens, usually that's not the outcome,
Right.
And it could pull the cab in a weird way. It didn't do that. It really just was isolated to that one spot. I'm looking at our sources right now because we want to check in outside with Cameron James. He has been keeping an eye on conditions for us. We're talking about all the snow that's headed our way. Right now, what we're just seeing is that things are starting to cool down. So we do have Cameron James outside for us. So give me just a moment here because we want to be able to check in with him. Okay, Cameron, we've got you on. What are conditions like? You've been outside all morning. Have you noticed the beginning of the change?
Yeah, we certainly have. We've got a lot of fresh air this morning, usually a good thing, but man, it is brisk out. The wind was keeping things cooler, but now we're really starting to feel the air temperatures lower here as we await for the first signs of snowfall. We spent most of our time this morning out by US 131 watching that morning commute come in. The road's still a little wet from the night before, but at least those temperatures were up above freezing in order to keep things moving. No ice on the roads the last time we checked, but man, it is certainly cold out here, and when that wind gusts up, it's a lot to deal with. Now, we did speak to road commissioners that said even though it is the holiday coming up and it is going to be one of the busiest travel days of the calendar year, they've got plenty of crews on standby keeping things moving. And we also spoke to Consumers Energy. They've got around 250 crews on standby around the state, so should anything develop with high winds, potential power outages on the way, they've got plenty of crews on standby keeping a watch on things.
Did you also notice the wind picking up? That's one of the things that Matt Kirkwood was talking about with the wind.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been steady all morning, and when it gusts, it really sends a chill down your spine. There's a pretty solid, steady wind coming out of the south right now, and yeah, it takes I think it was around 40 degrees this morning. It feels closer to about 20 right now.
Okay, well, Cam, we appreciate you being out there for us. I know Matt Kirkwood was joking that, this is the best time of day. You're the luckiest reporter. May not feel that way as you're dealing with some of the cool temperatures or things cooling down.
Anybody who's got to be out there later, it's going to be rough.
I have to take his word for it on that one, I guess. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you being out there. Thank you for joining us on Daybreak Plus to clue us in as to everything that's going on this morning. Okay, what do we have coming up, George?
A lot of this day in Michigan history, some interesting nuggets in history when we come back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to Daybreak
Forgot to
Plus.
do the other part.
Thanksgiving Eve.
Yeah. So this, I just feel like I can't win for losing today. You know what I mean? Okay. So we're focusing on this day in Michigan history. There it is. And what we have here is going back to 1620, right?
Yes.
And that is an Indian Thanksgiving.
1620.
So tell me about it, George.
I don't remember this one.
Oh man, you and I are a pair today.
Yeah, that one I didn't look up.
Okay, well let's go back to the Wampanoag Indian Thanksgiving story. It's the antidote to feel-good history. Or I guess as James Lowen said, the antidote to feel-good history is not feel-bad history, but honest and inclusive history.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where this comes from. So, we're taught that in 1620, the Pilgrims fled harsh religious suppression in Britain, sailed across the Atlantic, and stepped ashore at Plymouth Rock in what is now Massachusetts. And that whole version of Thanksgiving, it is pleasant, but according to this book, not terribly accurate, told from a perspective that frames the Pilgrims as the main characters. So it erases a monumentally sad history when we pay homage to the Pilgrims and their bravery and react to the tragic background of America's founding myth with silence. We essentially support a mindset that only some people's history matters, according, to this whole story. So the true history of Thanksgiving begins with the Indians, and that is what this story is about, and how, 4 years before the Pilgrims anchored off of Massachusetts, British fishermen had already started making their way through New England and storming through Indian towns and all of that. So a little research that you can do, I'm like taking up all of this time to tell this, but is to learn about the Wampanoag Indian Thanksgiving story. So that's something to look into. 1824, we had the first official Michigan Thanksgiving. 1924, the first Detroit Thanksgiving Parade.
Went right down Woodward Avenue. It became the longest running parade. How about that?
Yeah,
I
people
didn't
think
know
the
that.
Macy's one is, but it's not.
Detroit.
And in 1990, Chilly Willy, the balloon from the Detroit Parade, escaped.
Broke from its moorings, floated off into Canada.
Tomorrow, we're going to be in my kitchen for the whole show. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you'll join us for Holiday at Home tomorrow. We're out of time.
Okay.
That's my fault.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Blame me. But hey, we're
Happy
so glad
cooking.
you're here. Happy cooking.
Safe travels as
Share
well.
your pictures for Thanksgiving with us, and we'll see you tomorrow.